All right, let's talk about something every CPA firm knows all too well: tax season. It's the ultimate stress test, right? But what if there was a strategic way to not just survive it, but actually conquer it? Today, we're going to dive into a playbook for turning that annual chaos into a smooth, efficient process. Let's get into it. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of just immense pressure and work that never seems to end. It's more than just a deadline. It's a total endurance event where every single step feels heavier than the last one. And that's really the heart of the problem, right? This isn't some one-off crisis you just power through. It's a marathon that comes back year after year. It demands a smarter strategy, not just, more caffeine and more sleepless nights. Exactly. It's so much more than just paperwork. Think about it. You're dealing with this high-stakes mix of client demands, super complex regulations, and that constant threat of penalties. It tests your team's endurance, your firm's reputation is totally on the line, and the margin for error is, well, it's basically zero. So let's unpack that backpack. Because to find a real solution, we first need to get really honest about what those bricks actually are. What are the specific things that are making tax prep so incredibly difficult and weighing your firm down? Let's get specific here. When you really look at your workflow during that peak season, where are the biggest log jams? What are the core problems that turn what should be a manageable process into a total frantic scramble? It usually boils down to these four things that just keep piling on top of each other. First, you've got the insane volume of documents from clients. That alone is a logistical nightmare. Then you layer on these complex tax rules that seem to change all the time. Add to that the unforgiving deadlines and the crazy pressure for perfect accuracy, and you can see how it all combines to create just this overwhelming amount of stress. Okay, so we've laid out the problems. We see the bricks. So what's the solution? Well, it's not about replacing your team. It's about empowering them with a really strategic hybrid outsourcing model, one that's designed specifically for maximum efficiency. Now, this isn't your standard old-school outsourcing. It's a much smarter two-part strategy. Think of it like this. You've got a quick response team that's in a similar time zone for all those complex questions, and they're backed by a powerful processing engine offshore to handle the pure volume of work. And this is where the magic happens, because the two parts work together, but they play very different roles. The nearshore team is like an extension of your own office. They handle real-time questions, they make sure workflows are standardized. And then your offshore team is the workhorse. They're managing that high volume of documents, automating data entry, and doing detailed reviews. It's a system designed for both speed and scale. And this is a really crucial point. Outsourcing isn't some magic wand you can just wave at the problem. To make this really work, you absolutely need a solid internal game plan with clear leadership and a clear structure. This is so important. I can't stress this enough. This is not about just handing off responsibility. It's about building a powerful partnership. The success of your external team is going to depend entirely on the direction and the clarity that your own internal leaders provide. And here's how that breaks down in practice. The accounting manager is on the front lines. They're the quarterback, coordinating the day-to-day work with the outsourced team. The controller, on the other hand, is the head coach. They're the strategist, setting the policies, making sure everything is compliant, and giving that final critical sign-off. This division of labor creates accountability, and, it makes sure nothing falls through the cracks. So how do you actually put this all into practice? Well, the playbook really breaks down into 6 clear steps. You start by getting organized super early, centralize those documents. Then you bring in the hybrid team model. You standardize everything, automate whatever you can, make sure there's a senior review before anything gets filed, and always keep meticulous audit-ready records. It's a really practical, actionable roadmap. And when you follow that roadmap, the payoff is, well, it's huge. We are talking about completely transforming tax season from this period of just survival into a time of strategic advantage for your firm. This is really about reclaiming your time and your focus. So you might be thinking, how quickly can we see a real difference? Well, most firms see significant improvements in just a single tax cycle, 1. That is an incredibly fast return on your investment, and it proves that these changes can have a real, immediate, and tangible impact on your firm. So, if there's one thing to take away, it's this idea of the triple win. First, you reduce your risk of errors and compliance headaches. Second, you save a ton of time and, just as important, you lower the stress on your team. And finally, you free up your best people to focus on what actually grows your firm, high-value client advisory services.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Imagine a tax season that doesn't drain all your resources, but instead it showcases your firm's efficiency and expertise. What new opportunities could you go after? What new heights could your firm reach if your busiest time of year actually became your biggest strength?